Few figures in pro wrestling history cast a shadow as large as Andre the Giant, whose influence is still felt more than 30 years after his 1993 death. Sadly, the eighth wonder of the world proved all too human as his life came to an end. Andrei Roussimoff was born on May 19, 1946 in Coulommiers in northern France. He weighed a whopping 13 pounds at birth, already showing signs of gigantism. By the time he was 12 years old, Andrei was 6'3". He worked on his father's farm and took apprenticeships in woodworking and in a factory. As biography noted,
in the field, Andrei could perform the work of 3 men.
None of the jobs satisfied him, so at age 18, Andrei moved to Paris to begin his wrestling career. After a couple years of training, Andrei made his TV debut in France in 1966 and won his first championship, the FFCP World Heavyweight Championship, in 1968. He worked in Japan in 1970 and moved to North America to compete in Canada in 1971. He debuted for the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, the WWWF, in 1973. Promoter Vincent J. McMahon billed him a touring special attraction in various promotions across the country. When McMahon sold the company to his son Vincent K. McMahon, Andrei signed with the promotion but was still allowed to work in Japan. It was the elder McMahon who initially began billing him as Andre the Giant and portrayed him as an immovable monster. Andrei was quite athletic in his younger days, but Vince Sr. discouraged Andrei from using moves like dropkicks to play up to his massive size. While Andrei's massive height and presence in the ring helped him become a star in wrestling and around the globe, the disease that caused it made him suffer greatly throughout his life. Andrei didn't know until he was at least 24 that he had acromegaly, a rare endocrine disorder in which the body produces an excessive amount of growth hormones, leading to body parts to develop abnormally. While the disease is most often diagnosed in adults, symptoms can appear at any age. Despite his massive size throughout his childhood and teenage years, Andrei wasn't diagnosed until well into adulthood. According to biography, he may have received a diagnosis in Japan in 1970. He definitely knew upon breaking his ankle in 1981. Andrei's case could have been treated to extend his life, but he chose not to receive any medical help for the condition, which was caused by a brain tumor, for fear it would interfere with his wrestling career. That's despite knowing he would die at a young age from the disease and the considerable pain he endured because it weakened his joints. Other wrestlers have also lived with acromegaly. Paul White, who wrestled in WWE as The Big Show and for a period was billed as Andrei's son in WCW, underwent brain surgery in 1991 to have his pituitary gland tumor removed. Giant Gonzalez also had the condition and died in September 2010 from diabetes caused by the disease. Instead of medical treatment, Andrei chose to self-medicate his chronic pain with alcohol. Ted DiBiase noted in an interview with CBS Sports that Andrei hated taking medication because he saw what addiction to pain pills was doing to other guys in the locker room. Andrei's joints couldn't handle his weight as he got older, and he was in constant, ever-worsening pain in his knees, back, and neck. The bumps he was constantly taking in the ring didn't help things.
Andrei's weight increased to the point that his joints weren't really able to handle the stress of his body weight very, very well.
Andrei had to undergo back surgery for the debilitating pain in 1987. He had just finished filming the movie The Princess Bride and wasn't eager to go back to wrestling. Vince McMahon offered to pay for his surgery and open his own home for Andrei's rehabilitation to get the Giant to return to the company ahead of WrestleMania 3. An urban legend emerged that the anesthesiologist was unsure of how much sedative to administer to Andrei, so he based it around his alcohol consumption after Andrei reportedly said it took 2 liters of vodka just to make him feel warm inside. The late hardcore legend Terry Funk spoke to the LA Times about the surgery on Andrei's weakened spine, where surgeons in England had to construct oversized tools to use on the Giant. Funk said Andrei was already in a great deal of pain at the time. Andrei had shown Funk x-rays of his knee surgeries, and Funk told the Times doctors had taken out chunks of bone. Despite his constant pain, Andrei didn't fully retire from in-ring action until just a month before his death. Toward the end, his matches were even more carefully choreographed than a usual wrestling match to work around his health. His legendary match with rival Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 3 in 1987, where Hogan famously body-slammed Andrei, was carefully planned out to avoid injury. As his career wound down, Andrei also worked a lot of tag team matches to keep him as protected as possible. His last match in the WWF was at a house show in Detroit in May 1991, a 17-man battle royal for the Intercontinental Championship. His last major televised appearance for WWF came at SummerSlam 1991. Andre was on crutches at ringside in the corner of the Bushwhackers as they took on the Natural Disasters. He made one more WWF house show appearance in October 1991 in Paris. He was in Davey Boy Smith's corner, once again using crutches. Andre would then go on to WCW, making his last televised appearance in the U.S. at Clash of the Champions 20 in September 1992. He worked with Universal Wrestling Association in Mexico as well and toured with All Japan Pro Wrestling. His final match was on December 4th, 1992, and it was a win. He teamed with Giant Baba and Rusher Kimura in a 6-man AJPW match. The amount of alcohol Andre could put away has become the stuff of legend over the years, and it's honestly become hard to separate the myth from the reality. What's clear is that the Giant could definitely drink a lot thanks to the way his acromegaly affected his liver function.
Is it true that you, in one sitting, drank 117 beers?
Yes, in one night.
Hulk Hogan once revealed that his in-ring nemesis and real-life friend once downed 108 beers during a layover at the Tampa airport. Hogan also said when Andre held a 12-ounce beer in his hand, you couldn't even see it. For Andre's birthday one year, Hogan said he bought the Giant a case of a strong French white wine. They left their hotel to drive to another town, and by the time they stopped 3 hours later, Andre had drunk all 12 bottles. Andre's Princess Bride co-star Carrie Elwes told Vanity Fair that Andre would sometimes drink what he called the American, a concoction of liquor poured into a pitcher, akin to a Long Island iced tea. Elwes said it tasted like jet fuel, but to Andre it was like chugging water. Fellow co-star Mandy Patinkin once joined in to go drinking with the pair and found out that Andre had a $40,000 bar tab at his hotel by the time they were done filming. Elwes also confirmed that Andre could drink 100 beers in one sitting. Andre's unofficial record for beer, as told by Mike Graham and confirmed by Dusty Rhodes, was 156 beers, or 14.6 gallons. But again, that might be a tall tale. The Modern Drunkard reported that Andre's record was 119 standard 12-ounce beers in a 6-hour period. It's actually not known whether Andre was ever legally married, but he did have a close relationship with a woman named Jean Christensen, whom he met when she was doing public relations for wrestling promotions. In 1979, Christensen and Andre had a daughter, Robin, who was born in France but was primarily raised by her mother in the United States. Andre barely saw his daughter, and she recalled only ever seeing him around 5 times.
He's my dad, but he isn't, he's really never there.
She told CBS Sports that 2 or 3 of those meetings were at an arena when the WWF was in town. The others were in court. Robin didn't watch her father's matches on TV growing up and still doesn't today because she said it brings up mixed emotions. Jackie McCallie, Andre's good friend, said it was one of his biggest regrets that he didn't get to spend more time with his daughter. He once arranged to have her visit him at his ranch in North Carolina, but plans fell through. Andre and his daughter did reportedly regularly speak on the phone, and he paid child support. The last time they spoke was Christmas 1992, shortly before Andre's death. Andre set up a trust for Robin in his will, dictating that anytime Andre the Giant's name or likeness is used in merchandise, she has the final say and be paid royalties. Robin also still has some of her father's belongings, including his WWE Hall of Fame ring. Andre the Giant was just 46 when he died of congestive heart failure on January 28, 1993. He died in his sleep at a Paris hotel visiting for the funeral of his father. Andre had extended his stay to be with his mother on her birthday, but was found in the afternoon by his chauffeur and hotel management just 12 days after he buried his father. He had visited with friends the night before. In his will, Andre specified he wanted to be cremated and disposed of within 48 hours. French crematoriums quite simply couldn't accommodate a body of his size, so he had to be flown back to the United States, where he was cremated 2 weeks after his death. His body was accompanied back to the States by longtime friend Jackie McCallie, who lived on Andre's ranch with her husband to care for the property while Andre was on the road. His ashes weighed 17 pounds and were scattered at his beloved ranch in Ellerbe, North Carolina, which he left to his daughter, his only beneficiary. His ashes were spread by friend and former referee Frenchie Bernard while riding on horseback. Hulk Hogan delivered Andre's eulogy at the service on the ranch. Andre's stateside funeral was attended by Macho Man Randy Savage, Vince McMahon, Mae Young, and more. A family ceremony was also held in France. The WWE Hall of Fame ceremony has become a key component of WrestleMania weekend every year, and fans pretty much have one legend to thank for it: Andre the Giant. WWE created the Hall of Fame in 1993, about 2 months after Andre's death, and he was the sole inductee that year. There were classes of inductees over the next 3 years, but the Hall of Fame went on hiatus for 8 years until it returned as part of the WrestleMania weekend festivities in 2004. By 2024, there had been 245 inductees into the Hall of Fame. Andre inspired another WrestleMania week tradition more than 20 years after his death, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. In its first year, the match occurred during WrestleMania, but in later years, it's been on the pre-show or the SmackDown just prior to Mania. The one year it didn't happen was 2020 due to COVID concerns. One consistent element, though, is that the prize is always a trophy in Andre's likeness. These days, we're used to seeing wrestlers like The Rock and John Cena break out of the business into TV and movies, but it was nearly unheard of for wrestlers decades ago. Andre certainly helped blaze that trail for those to come. Before his beloved role as Fezzik in 1987's The Princess Bride, Andre played the Sasquatch in 2 episodes of The $6 Million Man, the creature Dagoth in Conan the Destroyer, a monster on The Greatest American Hero, and several different versions of himself in film and on TV. After his death, Andre was the inspiration for the 1998 film My Giant, written by his friend Billy Crystal, whom Andre met while filming The Princess Bride.
He had this poetry about him and the sensitivity that was so appealing. He talked about the village he was from and his parents, and he just wanted to go back there. And
Andre's image also lives on as the icon of the streetwear brand Obey. Artist Shepard Fairey saw a photo of Andre in the newspaper and in 1989 created the Andre the Giant Has a Posse street art campaign. That image eventually became part of the branding of his clothing brand. Andre is also technically a character in Street Fighter. Capcom's character Hugo, originally called Andore in the Final Fight series, is obviously based off of Andre.